Sup peeps, my name's Ian, I sell books on eBay and I've got about a dozen orders to go out today. It's Sunday morning. Sometimes I do this on a Sunday, sometimes I don't, but I just want to get ahead of the game a wee bit so that I can get stuff dropped off first thing tomorrow morning and then finish processing orders that come in after that point. Not a huge amount to talk about today as such, but let's run through the orders, see what's selling, see what you want to keep your eyes open for, and whether or not it's worth you picking it up wherever you are and whatever prices you can find it for. So first, kind of a bundle. 2 Richard Osman hardcovers, The Bullet That Missed and The Man Who Died Twice. Neither first editions, just the standard hardcover, like a 12 and a 14 type thing, but the 2 of them went for $13.99. So a not bad start yesterday at a whole 20 past 11 in the morning. Next we've got another bundle of 2. Kind of odd, don't usually sell them in 2s, but you know, they go. 2 Peter Mays this time. Peter May, not Peter May, Peter May, Entry Island and Runaway, and the 2 of them went for $9.99, which oddly it's the same price that they'd go for if somebody bought 3. But they bought 2, $9.99 for those. Next we've got a 5 book bundle. Lots of kind of generic stuff going out. Lynwood Barkley, so that author that I said I'm not picking up anymore because they never sell. Just keep selling now. You know, what can you do? Just standard thrillers. Don't know if he's got a new book out and that's kind of got things going, or people from Lynwood up near Glasgow are buying them all just for the name recognition, but $12.99 for those 5 paperbacks. Then a wee one on its own, which is quite a nice little sale. Resident Evil Apocalypse, just picked this up a week or so ago. A novelisation by Keith R.A. DeCandido based on the screenplay by Paul W.S. Anderson, based on Capcom's best-selling video games. So it's like a fourth-hand story, if that makes sense. Wee US edition. Really good condition. $9.99. So yeah, movie adaptations. Said it once or twice. Anything that's a movie book, especially when it's pennies, I'll just grab it. Some of them are worth quite good money. Some of them are worth, you know, a couple of quid if you can even sell them. But that's the type I like. Kind of 10 to 20 quid makes them quite nice. So you see them, if they're in good condition, definitely pick them up. If they're not so good condition, pick them up depending on the price. Then our only pre-made bundle of the day, which is Karen M. McManus. Yes, Karen M. McManus. I don't know if you can really see that through the wrapping, but it's the One of Us Is Lying thing series. I don't know if it's a trilogy. One of Us Is Lying, 2 Can Keep a Secret, One of Us Is Next, and The Cousins. So the 4 of them, $10.99. Not spectacular, but for £1 worth of paperbacks picked up, I'll quite happily sell that for 11 quid all day long. Next we've got a bundle of Julia Donaldson, 4 going out in this one. So we've got Snail and the Whale, Monkey Puzzle, Zog and Room in the Broom. So I saw a dragon in the back and thought, well, that must be Zog, but it's not. And a Squash and a Squeeze. £12.84 for the 4 of those. And then another book on its own, the book I'm reading at the moment, Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. It's brilliant. I'm only about a couple hundred pages into it, and it's about 800 odd pages, so I'm about a quarter of the way through, and it's just utterly captivating. You know, is it going to be a violent whatever western? I don't know, but at the moment they're just getting stuff together to begin a cattle drive, and it's just the opposite of The Stand. You're just drawn into the world that these people are living in, which is a very bland, dry, dusty world, but it's another world. A lot of historical fiction, which I suppose you can class this as, because it's like the 1880s. It kind of puts modern sensibilities, standards, morals, all of these things onto the characters from like ancient Rome or wherever. this feels, I don't know, I wasn't about then, I don't know anyone who was about then, but this feels like it's actually kind of true to those that lived at that time. Does that make any kind of sense? But absolutely brilliant. Pick up Lonesome Dove. Even if you don't want to, get it and read it. It's brilliant. So far, 200, about that much in. So I've got my copy of that I'm reading through, and it'll be getting kept. It's good enough already. Just the first 200 pages means that it's not going to be a bad book. If the next 600 are crap, won't matter. It'll still be great because those first 200 were phenomenal. So yeah, Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. Get that. That sold for £8. Another book on its own. Peter Benchley, the guy that wrote Jaws, and this is The Girl of the Sea of Cortez. Really pretty cover. It doesn't look like a normal Peter Benchley, you know, Jaws, the deep, white shark, the island, but this is apparently a first edition from 1982, and it's in really, really good nick. Bit of a plain jacket on it once you take the dust cover off, but other than a little bit of yellowing on the kind of inside of the dust jacket, it's pretty good nick, and £10 that sold for on its lonesome. So very nice. Box set. An Aria box set. This one in particular, $9.99. I've had a few of these and I've listed them at different prices to see what goes. $9.99 seems to get the bite and gets it moving. So I mean, was it 7 books in the set? So I might have paid £1.50, £1.75 for the set, but usually when I see these I get them for about £1. So again, £1 into a tenner. It's not huge profits, but it's quite nice for what it is. And next, another Julia Donaldson bundle. So 2 in a day. This time we've got Freddie and the Fairy, Sugar Lump and the Unicorn, What the Ladybird Heard, Charlie Cook's favourite book, and this time it's Zog and the Flying Doctors. So those 5 went for £12.84. So 4 or 5 cost the same. Weird that, innit? Well, it's not weird, I know exactly what it is, but that's beside the point. Right, another single book, which is graphic novel, US Agent. John Walker, US Agent, by Priest, whoever that is. I used to read comics, but they just don't interest me anymore. Don't know why. Maybe I'm just getting old. But yeah, that sold, and that sold for £8. So a few single book sales today for that kind of £8, £9, £10, which is cracking. And that includes this last one, which is The Citadel of Chaos, which I'm quite glad it sold, £8. And I shall tell you for why. Yesterday was a very frustrating day. It's not a bad day of sales. It's, you know, pretty average, nothing crazy, but it gets the job done. But I had 2 returns, refunds to deal with, and 2 purchases that were then immediately cancelled, and it was annoying. One of the returns was a different edition of this, so this is just a reprint. Still quite an old vintagey book. Where are we? 1984. This one was reprinted, so it's like the 13th or 14th reprint of it, from 1984. The original came out in 1983. The other one I've got is in very good condition, and it's from 1983, so it's like a 6th print, but it is 1983, and it's the Star edition, which makes it a bit more collectible apparently. But the person who bought it, they paid 20 odd quid. They decided they didn't like the condition. It was in very good condition, I don't know. So they'd sent it back, so that was a £20 plus refund. And those, I mean, if somebody doesn't want something and they send it back, that's fine. But it's frustrating because I've then spent a lot of money. So instead of this book well, not this one, but instead of that book having cost me 25p, it's now cost me 25p plus what I spent in postage to send it out. So it's like kind of £4 to buy one book. If it's a cheap book, I'm just going to refund them. I don't want the money back. I don't want the book back because it just ends up costing more and more and more. But for that one, it was like, no, it's a return, get it sent back, somebody else will buy it. So now, instead of making £5 or £6 off it when it sells again, I'm going to make £3 off it when it sells again, because I've already lost a chunk of money. But having said that, a book that sells for £20, would I pay £3 or £4 for it? Yeah, maybe I would, especially when I know they sell quite well. So it's not the end of the world, but it's frustrating. The other return was one which the tracking had shown they had attempted to deliver it, you know, about 5 times, and the address was unavailable. Nobody came to collect it at the depot, so it came back to me. So again, that was like a £10 bundle where I'd spent £3 odd on postage, and it's just come back to me. And then the buyer gets in touch saying, this hasn't been delivered, where is it? So yet again, it was like a bundle of 5 books. So per cost of book, it's now cost me like £1 a book, thereabouts, to buy them. Really not worth it. I've actually sold it again since, because it came back a few days ago, got it relisted, it went straight back out the door, and that's me yesterday. The buyer finally got in touch, so I thought, I'm not refunding it until they get in touch for that one, because I've spent money on the postage. They have failed to collect it, so it's cost me all that money just for them to then complain. Well, complain, that's harsh. They didn't complain, they just got in touch and said they hadn't received it, and I've refunded them in full as soon as they've asked. But it meant those 2 refunds going out yesterday, £30 odd. You know, when you're only bringing in, you know, what's today's orders total? £145 total in orders. 50 quid of that's already gone to eBay. 50 quid of that will go on posting this lot, and 30 quid of that went on yesterday's refunds. So for that whole lot, getting £20 for the day is a wee bit annoying. But yeah, that was the 2 returns, and then 2 cancellations. Just people buying something, and you know, it was maybe £20 worth of orders between the 2, and then cancelling them straight away. So it felt like a bit of a loss day from that point of view, which was a tad frustrating. But otherwise, you know, actual sales coming in doesn't keep me on target, but it's not too bad at all. Anyway, I've just heard the boy coming into the room, so I'm going to finish up now. Love you, see you, bye.